Hi, and welcome to a new episode of the Let's Clear the Cellar series. I actually got homesick, so I ended up opening two beautiful bottles yesterday from the Somló hill. Somló is one of the smallest wine region in Hungary, that's northwest of the Lake Balaton, and it consists of three smaller hills or mountains, and the biggest one, not Somló, is actually consists of 300 hectares of vineyard area and a lot of small plots, vineyards. Basically, the whole mountain is a vineyard area, and it's very rocky, mostly basalt, but also has some sedimentary soils on it. So it really has a minerality and long-lived vines. That's what Somló is famous for. And the Ufark, that's another great variety. Unfortunately, I don't have a single variety Ufark here in any of these bottles, but listen to the sixth episode of the Wine Ghost podcast. I'm gonna put the link below where I sat down or actually visited one of the great producers in the area. Somló Wander is the name of the winery, and you can hear a lot about this terroir in great details, why the soil is really characteristic here and what does it give to the wines. But now I'm drinking through Kreinbacher wines, and that's the producer. That's one of the biggest one actually in the area. They have around 50 hectares of organic plantings, but they also harvest from another 20 or 30 hectares from the area. And I have a single variety Tramini, as we say in Hungary, 2018 vintage, and I also have a cuvée, a 2017 Öreg Tőkék Bora, which translates to old vines, the wine from the old vines, and that's a Pinot Gris or Grauburgunder, as we say, Olasz Riesling, and also Furmint and Harsch-Levelű blend. Olasz Riesling or Pinot Gris is the majority, more than 60%, but I'm gonna start off with the Tramini or Traminer. I think it's an ideal wine for the first date, for sure, if you want to impress the future lover for your life or the potential one, because it's very generous, very rose-like in general, as like Gewürztraminer, maybe you have heard of it. So it was actually partially fermented in stainless steel and then aged in 500-liter acacia barrels. So this is already giving this very perfumey, very white flowery and almost honey-like, like a sweet white flower note, and not so wooden taste like, for example, an oak barrel usually have, especially if it's first filled. So it already has some perfumey in addition to the Traminer notes, and really almost tropical fruit-like, so almost like this maracuja and mango, but very also this apricot-y, orange blossom, but also maybe this potpourri, rose or rosewater. And on the palate, it's kind of waxy, almost like honeycomb, but it's still really refreshing. It has some arrest, you can feel it. But I would consider this as a dry wine. It has generally a bit lower acidity, some moderated acidity, but very luscious in the palate, long finish, and now building up these almost gingery aromas come through, and almost cinnamony, but really these maracuja notes are really distinctive for me, because as it's not so flat as you would expect maybe from like a really overripe Asian Gewürztraminer, but it's still refreshing and has seen some oxygen that you can see it's not bursting out of the bottle, but also has some marzipan notes maybe. So it's, I think if you would buy this bottle, you would flatter your future girlfriend. So let's go for the cuvée. So that's a 2017 vintage from old wines. I actually couldn't find the information how old these wines would be. So actually more than 60% is Olasz Riesling or Pinot Gris, and then more than like 22% I think it's Furmint, and then a little bit of Harsch-Levelű. Furmint and Harsch-Levelű, they are really typical in Tokaj in the sweet wine region, and Olasz Riesling you can find all around Hungary and in many parts of the world. But already from the color I can see more oxidation, probably a more golden color, more yellowish. The other wine had almost like a silver kind of character to it. So already on the nose, wow, I almost get some mango or ananas with this kind of character. That should be the harsh value. And also this honeydew melon or passion fruit, this kind of character. It's, I would say from the nose it's more complex, not only this aromatic side, but it's really a wide range of fruits. Papaya, also mango come to my mind. More on the tropical side for me. It's actually interesting. But let's taste the wine, right? Yeah, so it's much more complex, I would say. It has some riper side of fruit. I wouldn't confirm the ananas actually, but the mango, the papaya, the maracuya maybe, but also comes some citrus flavors to it, and almost this just perfectly ripe peach when you grab it from the tree, and it's not overripe but just ready to eat. And it also has some palpable minerality, but not the saltiness what you would get maybe from an Albarino, from Rio Spicias. So not the salty side, but really this present minerality, but also like it complements your mouth, you know. You don't want to drink 1 liter of water after this, but it doesn't dry your mouth and your saliva doesn't burst out. But it's more like, you know, this powdery magnesium what you put into your water after running. So it's more like a really present minerality what goes into your bones, and it's really present, builds up your mouth and doesn't hurt it. And maybe fermented Harslava, I already know this volcanic soil and reflects it better than the Traminer. And it for sure has more acidity. I would say it's closer to 6 grams and not palpable RS. Has seen some oxygen, so it's developing, but still really refreshing. And I think it's a beautiful cuvée because Olasz Riesling could really bear also the barrel fermentation and could really give some alcohol, some body to the wine. But Harslava is this really aromatic variety, and Furmint is really capable of reflecting this mineral soil and has a. It's hard to describe the flavor of Furmint actually, but it can really reflect a wide range of fruit while gaining some sugar through the ripeness, but preserve the acidity. So I could recommend both of these wines actually. I think the Traminer is a perfect first date wine and also a very versatile food to have around in the kitchen. And this Öreg Tőkék Bora could actually, I think both wines could age, but especially this Öreg Tőkék Bora could age really well for the cellar. So just a final conclusion, both of these wines actually flattered me and I'm really glad that I opened them. And both of these wines could age probably, but especially the Öreg Tőkék Bora could age, I think, at least 3, 4, 5 years, even more. And this Traminer is also really good, if that's a secret tip maybe, also Gewürztraminer or Traminer, if you have no idea what to bring to the first date, or just to have a safe choice, what everybody likes, just choose a Traminer or a Tramini from Kreinbacher, and look up Kreinbacher also if you like unique flavors in terms of sparkling wines, because they are really good at it, and they have also a lot of foreign consultants also from Champagne. So Méthode Traditionnelle is the name of the game, and also they have the Prestige Cuvée that's 100% Fumant, and so that's a really interesting sparkling wine. So that also gives this minerality and inorganic element to it in the wine. So thanks for watching this video, and maybe try more Somló and listen to the 6th episode of the Wine Ghost podcast, because it's really a hidden treasure in Hungary and also in the world. Great history and great terroir, really characterful wine. So cheers and drink more volcanic wines.